Hello and welcome back to what episode is this? 12. 12 already of our Timberborn Iron Teeth pressure playthrough. We are on the 1.0 experimental branch. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Glad to have you. Without further ado, let's get going. Plan for today is keep working on our reservoir. Keep trying to expand that. Probably get that higher even. To go higher, we need to get this higher, and we already have a lot of scaffolding that would help with that. So that should not be much of an issue at all. Um, so yeah, let's keep working on that. We have plenty of logs at the moment. So let's just start laying the groundwork for the next layer of levees. Because why not? We can. Now there might come a time. Ooh, did I actually delete something there? I did. We're gonna have flooding there now. So that's not great. A new achievement. It happens. Demolish a building and place an identical one right in its place. Yeah. Yep. That that happens. All right. So that should be fine. Um, we're gonna have to redo the scaffolding over there at some point. I think let's actually make another two-way station here, and then make more scaffolding from this side. So we can do something like, say, I don't know, that. Have some vertical tubeways right here. And a normal one. Perfect. And then we can have even some warehouses with logs, planks, and metal blocks over here. So let's do that. Okay. So we want logs obtained, metal blocks obtained, and planks obtained. Okay. Now let's figure out where. All right. So it looks like right. So above here, yeah, it is even with that. So this is where that first one is. Yeah. So right here. I don't know why I didn't have a platform selected when I was doing that. I'm not sure exactly how high we gotta go to meet up with that one properly. Are we off somehow? We are totally off. As far as height goes, though, I think we're at the right height. No, we should go one more down so that we can have one more overhang. But it looks like we're also, yeah, we're to the left. That's easy to fix. Gosh, I'm having trouble placing stuff today. Whoa, that was a little weird leg spike. Where were we at? All right. So let's do a double here. And we can delete this stuff. Go with the sixer. And then for that last one, I thought I went down already. I did not go down? Was that place higher? Does need to be one shorter. Okay. So instead of the double, we do a single. And here, I think it's just a 3. There we go. That we can actually connect them and they can go either direction to get the resources they need. All right, so now we just got to build this up, right? Like so. Okay. Then we can have this next one. Actually, we can start it back here. And I think still keep with the single there. And that should still be able to reach if I'm not stupid, which apparently I am. Gotta go one more over. No problem. No problem. We're gonna do that a little bit differently anyway. In that I'm actually going to put just a little something right there to help us get above that two-way station there. And that should count as our one platform instead. So, unless my math is just totally off. Why do those not look the same height? Oh well, let's give it a try here. Okay, so that's too long, but what about that one? Still too long? Perfect. Finding the right overhang there was kind of like Cinderella's slipper. Can't be too long, can't be too short. Had to be just right. All right, and now we can go from over here with the tube ways and do something like this. Guess I didn't really need that overhang. Oh well, it's there. Not a problem. Perfect. Sort of. So now, 2 from there, 2 empty spaces, so it's going to be right here. That's too high. Do a 1. And then the 6s. I think we had to go down to that size. Yep. Beautiful. Four planks and a metal block for each of these. It actually would be cheaper to just do triple platforms in between here. And then a single platform. Double platform? I thought it was supposed to be double, but it looked too high. Did I accidentally grab triple? I did. Or something. Only issue is doing it this way. And yeah, they'll have to build up all of this and build this before they can build any of this stuff. Okay. Making progress, though. Making progress. It'll be real nice once the scaffolding is done. Fact, I'm going to try to do a little shortcut here with this next piece of scaffolding. And I don't see why it wouldn't work. Right? That should work just fine. I hope. We'll find out. I don't think there should be an issue with that. I don't see why there would. Not quite as far as we need to go over here. Can I not put two ways on this top one? Okay, I can't. That is the top layer. That we can build two ways onto. All right, so we'll have to figure out a little bit something else to work out this kind of section. You know, and with that being almost done, I think we can actually get rid of this part of this scaffolding. Right here. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite as ready as I thought. But if we do that, it's all connected again. Shoot. You know what? The easiest way would have been not to delete that. But I'm just going to delete this and then put in the vertical shafts right there and make that high priority, and that'll connect that two-way station back. And we don't need that one. And then we should be able to build these levees. Let's see, we need these as well. The only issue is that's going to get this higher than that seep, potentially. Like, that might not be able to actually contribute. We'll see. Still trying to learn exactly how that's going to work with all of the other stuff. It might just not be possible to add that seep directly to our tanks in such a way. In fact, the method might to add water from here to over there might involve mechanical pumps to take advantage of that seep. We'll see. Don't have a hard set plan for that quite yet. Let's see, where are we at with this? We're right up here, okay. Food and water looking just fine. Yeah. I would like to maybe get some more of this removed, but then we're getting pretty close to where that yeah, we get pretty close to where that water comes out there. But I guess as long as we stay don't go any further back than that, it should be all right, actually. Let's see. That should be more than enough. How do I want to get up there? I think, like, that, perhaps. Where's my path? There it is. Actually, that might need to be backed up one. Yep. Okay, because I'm just going to do something like this. Boop, boop. And then boop, boop, boop. Yeah, maybe for just good measure, one more boop boop. For extra good measure, one more. No. I'm gonna do that smarter. We're not using two ways on this part. We're going with bridges. Boom. Nailed it. Then I think yeah, as long as we stay away. Can I blow up this one? No. So I'm going to put a path there to remind myself I can't blow that up. Actually, to really make sure I remind myself. There's going to be a small warehouse there. But right here, right in front of it, that's fair game. I can make all of that the same level as this down here with no repercussions. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, I can't reach all that stuff either. We'll get there. We'll get there. We do have some vacancies. Maybe we need to check on what we got going on for breeding pods. Not sure if we need any more. There's an awful lot of them still. But maybe it wouldn't hurt. Oh yeah, I marked this stuff for cutting. Let's empty this. Or actually, I just delete it and the water stays in this weird rubble form. Because I wanted to make this a large tank here. So first of all, that's easy. We can find another spot for a medical bed, but this is right in with our breeding pods. So I want one more of them here. All right, now we just let the beavers do their thing and check out and maybe plan for some additional projects. The bad tide's going, so this is showing us where all water is. Nothing is reaching up through here at all. And that's because we block some stuff off. But if we go down not too far, we got some bad water. That seems to be flowing. Where does that then flow to? It looks like it's flowing, but there's nowhere for this to flow to. Unless this thing goes down. Aha, it goes down and then out that way. Down and then up. Down and then up. Okay, so we do got to be careful if we're intervening on this area. But as long as we don't go down too far, we could flatten the top of this. Yeah, as long as we go down to this level, we could flatten it to there, fill in the rest with a little bit of dirt, and make that into another farm up there. Fairly easily. Farm or expanded residential area. Couple options for sure. Nothing to do in range. We are out of scrap. Okay, where's the next scrap? Did I start going towards the next scrap? I did. We're already there, in fact. Okay, so you're done. That's fine. Thank you for your service. Your services are no longer required. And we can click empty on that. So after that scrap, though, there's still more on the map. I'm just wondering if I should just switch over to a mine pretty soon. That might be the play instead of reaching for all of the scrap in all the corners of this world. Where's a close mine to the settlement? We definitely have the technology. Mines will show up on everything below them will have this icon. So I'm looking for one that might be a little bit closer to home. And since looks like I've got 3 mines, one here, one here, one there, one there, 4. Looks like the closest to our settlement is this one right here. Aha. It's not what I would exactly call close. It's a bad tide, so we know all water that's flowing is currently flowing that will be flowing. Yeah, that's the closest one. They're spread pretty far. Okay. Now they are spread far and wide. With knowing that that's where one of the mines is, that we might want to use these underground ruins, I'm thinking we start reaching towards these ruins, and then when they're done, we're close to the mine and we can just expand to there. That's what I'm thinking for a plan. Let's see. Okay, we got to avoid some of these underground bad water rivers. There's a few of them. That one flows pretty fast, actually. Actually, during normal operation, is that one that's good? I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Regardless. So yeah, we can't tunnel there. Can't really even tunnel too far above it. I think a up and over tubeway strategy is probably going to be the best option. There's not really tubeways over that way. So let's just start with these. Now we could just do something like that and tap into it right there. And then we could just start building out this direction. This is getting way higher than I was hoping. Obviously, we could have like gone back down to the ground here. Maybe that's the play. That's a lot less resources. Yeah, so when we hit that point, we could snake back to the ground. That'll be a lot less platforms that were unnecessary. Of course, that's not on the right spot. Why would it be in the right spot? That's too much to ask. All right, so we got that. But I don't want to go too much lower because I want to get over here. So I think I am going to start with platforms here. Yeah, that seems a lot better height-wise. Still kind of higher than I would have liked, but it's not nearly as bad. So that would mean this actually needs to be another vertical. New achievement again. Something about building enough tubeways. I do like me my tubeways. No doubt about that. Let's see, that is right there. Yeah, let's just do one more. That puts me right there. Okay, excellent. That I'm happy with that. Well, I will be happy with that. All right, so there. And this, I think it's right here, right? Excellent. Ooh, not quite high enough. Boop. Vertical tubeway, regular tubeway, tubeway station. But the front can't take the tubeway. Right there, I guess. And we aren't going to have much room for anything over here to start with. Just a single scavenger. I mean, yeah, I think that's the only way with where I put that down. I could make this shorter. That probably makes a whole lot more sense. Yeah. Way more sense. That needs to be destroyed. And instead of a 6, let's make it a 4. Because then that would put it right there instead. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause it there. Delete those. And then replant our tubeway station with a little bit more breathing room here, right? Where we can have a couple different paths coming off of here. So we can at least have 2 scavengers. And then some warehouses and maybe even a water tank. Water. And we want these set to scrap. So I'm just going to copy those settings over there. All right. Water's going down. What's up with that? We're just not pumping everything here. Well, let's get pumping. I do want that to be a priority. Am I out of any building materials at the moment? No, it looks like what's holding me back is really just the time to build everything. So essentially that boils down to having enough builders. Like, we're not out of logs, we're not out of planks, we're not out of gears, we're not out of metal blocks. All that's looking just fine. But we weren't quite pumping enough, I think. Bad Tide is in progress and is almost done, actually. So that's kind of exciting. This is now operational, so we can fill that up with water. The scaffolding is starting to get very close to being finished, or at least some of it. Right there. Now I can just do another one of those. Like so. And then I could fill this out with platforms here. Regular tubeways. There we go. Now it'll get us above quite a bit of our area. Well, I don't even remember what I was going to build here, but I'm going to use dynamite from here, so might as well be explosives, I guess. It was mainly to mark that I didn't want to blow that spot up. Yeah, I can move. I could have a tank for extract over there too. Honestly, right there is closer because this is really far actually from where they climb up here. That's not ideal. There we go. That should now be connected. Not yet. It needs right there. Now those are all connected. All right, so let's go ahead and start laying some dynamite here too. We are multitasking. I don't feel it's super ADHD because I think it's more effective multitasking because we're waiting on builders to get stuff done in other places that can only get it done so quick. And during that, we are laying down groundwork for other projects. And that to me doesn't sound like a waste of time. Sounds quite the opposite. Now we don't need this scaffolding anymore, so we can go ahead and delete that. There we go. And all that should still be accessible. Yeah, I guess that one's not, but we can make it accessible. Just with some good old-fashioned power shaft movement shenanigans. That should do it. Delete these power shafts before any of them accidentally get built. And they can reach them. The bad tide is over. We have good water flowing again. If I do this, it will increase the amount of evaporation, but it increases the amount it holds. Let's see what happens, I guess. All right, they are going to have trouble igniting that dynamite with stuff above it. They'll have trouble building it, actually, is what the problem's going to be. We got to build those ones first. We still have an active scrap pile, correct? Somewhere? Like we're not like high and dry on scrap. Yeah, we're still collecting here just fine. Okay. There's only 2 of them over there though, and scrap isn't looking the best. We might want, I think we're gonna want another. All right. Doing a lot of little miscellaneous projects. I'm trying to think what else we really should be working on right now. We got a lot of the groundwork done for what we need to do for our reservoir, for our dam. That's, of course, very important. How are we looking power-wise? We're doing good on power. Resources, scrap's kind of low, but we're already working on addressing that. So I don't really think we need to worry too much more about scrap. We've already got a plan in place to address that. I do think over here I'm going to put another one of the irrigation stations. Somewhere over here. And that's what this area is going to be, is additional farming. I just got to decide. I think I'm going to bring a tubeway over there, to be perfectly honest. Decide how I want that to happen. Shouldn't it be too hard to bring a tubeway from over here? Yes, there's some underground stuff, but I think since we've blocked off this path, we should be able to make it work where we're not going into too much trouble if we go below for our tubeways. pop out over here and make that irrigation station. All right, well, let's get this going. Looks like just another set of triples, and we're pretty much done then. What we should probably do is find a spot for our dirt excavator as well, because this map is full of potential issues. You got to be very careful where you put your dirt excavator. And I'm honestly tempted. So I could make it so that any of the good water over here that comes from over here, eventually this does translate to some over here, right? I believe. We've seen good water back here before. Especially if we block this off. We could force good water over there. But right now it's desert of the real. And it's the good water's flowing out over here. What I would like to see is us utilize that good water in a better way. And that better way, I'm thinking, if we can get down here, make some sluices that if it's bad water, it goes the path it is. Otherwise, dig up a hole and pressurize it to make an aqueduct that'll bring water from above. I think that could be cool. That'll be a long-term project, I do believe. But I think that is something we can make happen. Maybe make its own separate reservoir just for pumping. Because this one's kind of pumping and irrigating at the moment. We could have an aqueduct that would then lead straight to a reservoir that's designated for pumping. That is definitely doable. Ooh. Apparently I'm getting a little tired. That was a big yawn. What's going on with the seep? The seep is still contributing at this point. We're not overflowing any of this because before that happens, it flows over here. But I am a little worried if we close that, we're going to need to build these for one and build these. At that point, I don't know if the seep's going to actually contribute. Kind of thinking it probably won't. But then if we need to build this up higher to match that, we could then put a mechanical pump going from the seep into that. That could work. Let's see. I would like to be able to see through the water, please. Okay. How's the scaffolding coming up here? It's slowly but surely. The dynamite would definitely speed up if we had storage, like a medium warehouse and a medium tank for extract and explosives. Not bad water. Extract obtained. Explosives obtained. But it looked like extract was actually getting a little low. Maybe we need to turn that centrifuge back on. We only have one going. Are we out of bad water or something? No? Are you not making extract? What's the problem here? Well, the problem is it's not working hours, I suppose. Yep, that's the only problem. So yeah, let's turn this other one on. Make a little bit more extract. We did get rid of a medical bed earlier. Maybe that is biting us in the butt a little. Just to be sure, let's make another medical bed. It's kind of in a random spot, but better than nothing. It should help. Part of it is we're just planting a lot of triple dynamite, and that's eating into our extract. The drought has started. Okay. Lots going on still. I suppose one thing we could do is start working on how we're going to get our two boys over there. And I don't think there's much need to overcomplicate things. As soon as somebody deletes that cassava seedling. That should work pretty well. I don't see why it wouldn't anyway. So let's find where we're at. Down here, that's directly below it. So right there. I guess this doesn't need to be a vertical tubeway. Tubeway station like so. Looks like maybe right there as well. Should be fine. Can we reach all of those? No, we can't. But if we can just reach that one, I think that will make me happy. I think that would make it look better. So now we need to build that irrigation station we talked about. So we'll grab our levees. And I honestly think just right here, I know it's not maximizing the amount of area it can irrigate, but this area doesn't stay irrigated, and I want it to go all the way over here. And then we'll evaluate if we can reroute the water over there and make it go further back. So with that in mind, we can do stairway up there. We can do a fluid dump right there. A farmhouse like so. And then we don't even need these other platforms. Yeah, that should work well. Remember, resources disintegrate. They should be able to pick them up. Plenty of room. So let's do it. Well, maybe there's not plenty of room of everything. I think some of these resources actually ended up disintegrating on us. Huh. Can I say something like there's no room in storage? I don't see that air right now. Logs, is there room? Yeah. Getting a lot of injured beavers because of that dang centrifuge. They are a high injury chance. So that's not great. Okay, that's done. Still getting a scrap from there. Where is that other mine and stuff? It was on the back of this. So we're nowhere near doing anything with it. Well, of course, it can't reach that, can it? This needs to be built first. I attempted to build that kind of silly. But after we get that built, everything else will fall into place. Really, it just should have been built from this direction to start with. Why do I want to delete all of that? Gosh. This for sure I want to delete. What a mess. I should have built it from this direction to start with, but now I got issues to deal with. Okay, with that, they should be able to reach. There's no way to climb up there underneath this. Gosh darn it. We can do this, no problem, and then make this a vertical tubeway. But that doesn't reach this. But that would. That's the ugly way to get there, but it's going to let us build it. And then we can build this direction and do what we were going to do before. We just couldn't reach it. That's the problem. We couldn't reach some of the supporting structure for our build. Mainly this. But after this two-way is built, which should not be a problem at all, then we can reach this, and the rest of it can be built. We have 2 beavers without jobs. That is strange. That is awkward. Let's get some more builders in here, I guess, huh? Another builder's hut? Why not? We'll prioritize that even. Not the workplace, the construction of it. Slowly but surely getting stuff done here. Where does this scaffolding end? Right below there. So we definitely do need more to the left here. A little unfortunate, but, you know, it's to be expected. Now, this is obviously a lot of materials, but after all this scaffolding is down, it is going to be so much easier to continue our dam renovation projects. We're just going to be able to lay dynamite from the scaffolding up top and not worry about really anything else at that point. Hey. We breeding halted. Why is the breeding halted? Because we don't have berries, apparently. We're running out of berries? That's not very good. Okay, I'll see myself out after that one. I'm sorry. Oh gosh. Where's our nearest forester to this? We have a forester anywhere around here? I thought we did. Did we end up deleting it? It's possible. Regardless, what I'm thinking is we expand our berry patch to include that. That will like more than double it. We'll just have to delete these farmers temporarily in order to put a forester to spread the berries. Unless, yeah, this one can't reach over there. I think that's the current closest one. Yeah, so I'm just going to delete this very temporarily to put down a forester in order to plant more berry bushes. Yeah, we increased our berry needs by building more breeding pods, and we have officially used up our berries. I don't know if we ended up eating some of those berries at all because other foods was low. It doesn't look like it at this moment, but it was possible that that happened at some point in the past. Berries are just going to be a little bit scarce. We're waiting for them to come in. Some of these are coming in now, so that's good. But we're going to want to plant more of these. Oh, it looks like they already got all of those planted. Just to make sure we're good on that for the foreseeable future, let's extend it even a little bit more. Right there, this can reach all of that. That should be more than enough berries. But the blueberries do take a full 24 days before they produce their first crop. And then after that, it's 12 days per crop. So it's going to take a little while for them to start contributing. But this should be enough once they're fully online. Should be more than enough. This is a pretty big blueberry patch, to be perfectly honest. They can't delete those because it's too far away. Okay, we'll just have to wait for it to be harvested. Oh well. This isn't done yet. Okay, now our two-way station over here is connected, so this will take root quite quickly. We might be then able to just extend this path over here. Maybe get that close enough. Yep, now they can delete them. Good. Good, good, good. Like to see that. It is bedtime for our beavers currently, though. So be it. They're busy building scaffolding. Looking like a big chaotic mess. But it's going to help with our projects. I think you can consider these projects we're working on mega projects at this point. It's going to help with our mega projects going forward. And this is just getting to that scrap preemptively over here. I bet we could use another hauling post, to be honest. So I'm going to... We're getting pretty spread out, so having more haulers will definitely be helpful. So I'll go ahead and build another one. Construction high, workplace lowest priority. So it'll be the last thing they fill. So we should only have that one excess one. And now we're at 9 vacancies, but they're all in this hauling post. So basically by building that, we got one more hauler. That one unemployed beaver is now a hauler, and now we have 9 vacancies in the hauler. Who got stranded, what, where, how, why? Okay. The answer to all of those questions is this beaver's dumb. I didn't know there was water in there already. So that means I'm dumb. Prioritize that ASAP. Oh, of course, it's night. Why? Of course it is. Wonderful. Okay, plant those. After this forester plants those last 4 blueberries, he'll be deleted and replaced with another farmhouse. Died due to being flooded. That is unfortunate. All right, that's now contained. No stranded beavers. Building lacks material. The coffee brewery doesn't have enough coffee beans. Now, we ran into that issue once before already and I tried to address it. Indeed, we did. This is our coffee patch. Apparently, it's not a big enough coffee patch. I suppose our beavers have been, our population has been growing pretty steadily, so we shouldn't be too surprised, I suppose. Let's expand that coffee patch, though. I'm going to actually have it take over all of that area. And that forester can plant those, and we'll get some more coffee beans going. Always rather have too much than not enough. Sometimes that's easier said than done. It would be possible to do the math on how long it takes to get a coffee bean, to know how much coffee each beaver needs. You could do the math. I haven't. I just kind of look at trends. Like, oh, yep, we're running low, so I need more coffee beans. Ideally, I should have seen the coffee going down and then realized that I needed more coffee beans before I actually did. But I did not notice that in time, so here we are. All right. So we're essentially doubling the size of our coffee patch. I think that'll be enough. I hope that'll be enough. Some beavers are injured. I do want to slowly get rid of this stuff, but it has a high chance of injury when they get rid of it. I don't want to do too much at a time because then we're down more labor during that. Looks like I can probably do another explosion here. Expand that. That feels good. Explode these ones. Excellent. And we just don't at the moment quite have access to this area. So we'll have to figure out the scaffolding there a little bit. You can kind of see the hook shape or question mark shape. Not very distinct, but I'll probably make it look a little prettier and more like kind of like a sickle, like a harvesting sickle, perhaps. Let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty similar to that harvesting sickle, if you have a little imagination. The handle, the hook. Obviously, there's a lot cleared here, so it's kind of too fat here, but it's got that general shape. All right. Although today was quite a bit of scaffolding, we did make progress on scaffolding, which is going to help us with our future projects. We also got this cleared out. We're going to be planting more types of food here. In fact, right now, I think I'm going to plant more canola, and more soybeans. Because I want more of those available. We are definitely going to need the canola. So we can put some back there, and there. That should be a decent start to that. We could also plant some eggplants. And I think I'm going to. And what that's going to allow us to do is use that canola oil, build another food factory, and have eggplant rations. Because we only have we do have 2 food factories right now. We can switch one of these to eggplant rations. We don't have the stuff for it yet, but we will before too long planting that. So we're getting more food types. We're getting more water storage. We're getting closer to a new pile of scrap. which is also right by where our mine is going to be. We're going to take advantage of that underground ruin, put a storage here and a two-way station in order to access that. Um, yeah, I think it's looking good. If you watched this whole episode, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I am still a new YouTube creator. I'm trying to get more subscribers and just grow my channel. And each one of you that hits that subscribe button really helps me out. Growth is slow to start with, but as more people see it, I've already noticed the growth is increasing, the growth rate. So it's just nice that my content is reaching more people. Um, I my content's nothing special, but I like sharing. Um, I like these videos because it allows me to share what I enjoy with a lot of people. I can reach people that I would have never met before and share the joys of the games I love with them, and that makes me happy. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and I will see you guys next time.